All right, so today we're starting off about composition stoichiometry. Almost everything is review in this unit of stoichiometry, okay? We had yesterday, we had your homework with percent composition and determine the empirical formula. We did that last year. Today is something new, okay? Tomorrow, yeah, I knew you'd done it. Tomorrow, we're going to do like molarity, molality, percent by mass, mole fraction, things that we've already done also. Today is going to be somewhat new. And some things that you kind of if you paid attention last year, you noticed them. Like, remember when we did our stoichiometry lab, can you make 2.00 grams of a substance? And you had things like CaSO4 times 7H2O. That is called a hydrate, okay? Hydrate means water. So what we're going to do today, and what our first lab is going to be, is you're going to have to determine the mass of the hydrate, okay? The formula, you're going to determine the mass of the hydrate to figure out the formula of the hydrate. We're going to do this with a crucible, okay? Like next week, we're going to do this with a crucible. So probably looking at a lab. We might actually start Friday. I'm not real sure. Probably Friday. Okay, we'll do it Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. So B kids, lab Friday. I'll give you your pre-lab. I'll post it probably tomorrow, okay? If you don't have your lab notebook, I hope you have your lab notebook from last year still. If you do, just continue on that. If you don't, let me know. But we're going to heat things up with a crucible very, very strongly. You don't touch them, okay? You don't touch the crucible. Your oil will leave mass on the crucible, so we don't touch that, okay? Once water is removed, anhydrous, that means no water. A or an, the prefix means no. Hydrate, hydrous means water, so no water. So if you heat something up, and then you can figure out, you know your mass before, you know your mass after. You can figure out how much mass has been driven off, and so you can get rid of the hydrate, the mass of the hydrate. You can figure out the mass of the hydrate, i.e. the formula of the hydrate. Here are your steps. Now these steps will work every time. No. Number one, determine the mass of the water lost, okay? That's our first step. So if you tell you the mass before, the mass after, how do you figure out the mass of the water lost? Subtract them. Next thing, you convert the mass of water to moles. That means you're going to multiply by 1 mole over the molar mass of water, so 1 mole times 18.0153. Then you got to do the same thing for step 3. You got your mass of your anhydrous converted to moles, okay? Mass of your anhydrous to moles. Then you're going to divide by moles of water by the moles of the anhydrous compound. So it will be step 2 divided by step 3. And then your answer for that is the number that goes in front of your formula. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so let me change my screen again. So here is your first question. We're going to do a couple of these together, okay? Here's your first question. Make sure this showed up on my screen. I don't really know if it does or not. It tells you that a 13.57 gram of hydrated magnesium sulfate is heated, leaving behind a residue of 6.63 grams. What is the name and formula of this hydrated salt? Name and the formula is easy. The name is something that we'll need to add. It will be something that should be relatively straightforward to do. You could have hydrates on your naming quiz this week. You could have formulas, hydrates on your naming quiz this week. Yeah, tell me when y'all are ready. What? Need some paper, or you need looking for a writing utensil? Because when you do this, I mean, this is a lab technique. I mean, this is a lab technique. You don't want to put the lid on it all the way, but you got to have some of the lid on it so it doesn't splash out. It's going to boil the water away. Kind of interesting to look at. It's one of my favorite labs to do. It is a very tedious lab to do, though. A lot of downtime. You're going to have a lot of cooling time. we're gonna work it together. I'm just waiting on everybody to get going. I mean, you can work it. I mean, you just follow those steps. And you can work it yourself if you would prefer. Okay, but we're gonna work it together also.
I got normal work quizzes also, like quizzes work. I don't remember which one it goes to.
Oh, that's all right. Just attach it to one of them. From here on out, I'm really looking at the work for your quizzes. I would also advise, as we're writing this, is download a PDF scanner. Okay, it'll do a lot better job about resolution with your camera. iPhone people, if you go to Genius Scan to turn in your work, it's better than it's easier for me to take a picture. It shows up better. Okay. I use Genius Scan, not Genius Scan Plus. I use Genius Scan. It's a free app, okay? And it'll zoom in and do the spot where you need to do when you do it. Genius Scan Plus costs $8 a month. I wouldn't pay for that, but Genius Scan is free. It's a PDF scanner. I assume that it's also probably on your Android store also. All right, ready to work this one out? Okay, our first step, we need to do what? Nope. What? Find the mass of the water. Okay, so the mass of the water, let me find my mouse. The mass of the water, so, why is that? So mass H2O, Zakaya is correct, equals the beginning mass divided by, subtracted from the residue. And you said 6.94? Thank you, ma'am. 6.94 grams. All right, that's the first step. Sometimes you don't have to do that step. Sometimes it'll already be given in there, okay? It'll tell you that, after burning, you had whatever, and, whatever grams of your anhydrous salt and so many grams of water was driven off, okay? So my next step needs to be to do what? 13.57 minus 6.63. Is it not 6.94?
I was going off the homework you posted. It's 6.60.
Oh.
It's the first one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's my first step. My next step means I need to do what? Convert it to moles. So 6.94 grams H2O. Times, turn around just there. Yeah, putting over 1, yes ma'am. Over 1. Yep, 1 mole H2O goes on the top. And then the grams H2O and the molar mass is 18.0, that's bad, 0.153 grams. H2O. What's that equal? Seven divided by 18, it's going to be like 35%. I mean 35.35. Yeah, I did H2O. 6.9. We'll save it because you're going to need it in the next one. Oh, didn't say anything. Let me see, it's going to be about 36%, or 36, no, 38%. It's going to be right around 30.38. So so 0.385 equals 0.385 mole H2O. All right, my next thing, I need to determine the number of moles of magnesium sulfate, correct? So what am I going to start with? How many grams of that do I have? No. I'm telling you no to you. I mean, you do it the same way, but how many grams do I have? What's left? Yeah, because this is magnesium sulfate and water, okay? This is just your magnesium sulfate. So 6.63 grams MgSO4 over 1 times 1 mole MgSO4 over, Gabe, what was molar mass? 120. That's bad. Try that again. My smartboard doesn't work. We're supposed to be trying to get it fixed. And I can't wait till it gets fixed. I mean, I write bad. I write even worse. It said 120. Gosh, I did it again. Well, the people that are not there at home. Yeah, no, but the more sensors you use. Let's try this one. 1. There we go. 20.369. 369 grams MgSO4. And what's that equal? Maybe a small number. Like 0.05. One more significant figure. 551. Nope, mole. Mole. All right, so next step is you need to divide step 2 by step 3. So moles H2O over the moles MgSO4. So next step is 0.38. Okay, well, this is where we got to be a little bit better. Okay, it's kind of like, not better, a little bit better is not the correct word there. I apologize. This is where we have to kind of use things like we did yesterday. Okay, the guy got 6.99. That's that guy got 6.98. What is that? So that's just 7. Okay, that's just 7. Just like, yesterday, if it was 6.5, it'd be a different story, wouldn't it? But it's pretty close to 7. So that equals 7. So now my formula is now MgSO4 times 7H2O. See where whatever this number here is that we divided. Let me find my mouse. Whatever this number is here that we divided right here becomes the coefficient right there. Okay? That makes sense to you guys? Now you're still not finished with this question yet. What's the name of it? What's the name of the first thing? So it's magnesium sulfate. Almost there. How many? What? How do I say 7? No. Hept. So it's hepta. I'm going to type it out and copy and paste it. Heptahydrate. Okay, that is the name of this. Yes, and then it's just hydrate. Copy. Here's your answer. Magnesium sulfate heptahydrate. So that's the answer. It's magnesium sulfate heptahydrate. Magnesium sulfate heptahydrate. And that's today. You do them all the same way. Your homework's already posted. Okay, your homework is already posted. Don't forget naming quiz for A kids tomorrow and for B kids on Thursday. Labs next. Yeah.